We're just oohing and ahhing over our little buddy over here. This is Lawson. Let me introduce you to these folks. November, by the way, is Premature Baby Awareness Month. March of Dimes stays busy in that area, and we want to know about the health of moms and babies in South Carolina, and tell us a little bit more. Sarah Covington Cobb, you are the March of Dimes. Your title's a lot longer, but for now, you are the March of Dimes.
Okay.
And you have brought with you, let's see, who is this? Julia Clardy and son Lawson. I didn't love to hold that little buddy. Isn't he the cutest thing?
So
How much premature was he?
He was a 23-weeker, so he was born at 23 weeks gestation.
Oh my
He is
gosh.
a little miracle for sure.
Yeah.
Like legit is, because I know, we've had friends that had it, and it's like, okay, 24 weeks, that's not great, but if you can get to that 24, there's
Right,
things.
and we
so
heard
for it to
that.
be 23, what did you think when you?
It's a overwhelming feeling of just you just have no idea what to expect. I mean, they try to help prepare you for every little milestone, so to speak.
Yeah.
So when we went in at 23.0, our goal was to get me through the steroids and the magnesium, and then at 23.3, he decided to come on.
He's like, no,
and
mommy, I'm ready to meet you.
He came out 1 pound 7 ounces. He actually opened his eyes, which was unheard of, and had a little cry.
Stop.
So
Were you
they
just
were
like,
just amazed.
But how long was he in the hospital after being born?
So he was in there 133 days in the NICU.
Oh my gosh.
goodness.
And
How old is he right now?
He's 6 months old and 2 months corrected.
Okay, I was going to say.
2 months corrected is kind of how you go by it.
Yeah.
He had several surgeries while in the NICU.
Whittle.
No, he had a little PDA in his heart, and he was actually diagnosed with CMV after a head scan was performed right after he was born too.
So
Look at it. Second mama's hair touches. He's like, yeah.
he'll doze off in 5 seconds. Watch it. His arms will drop.
He's
He's
like,
gone.
I'm just so tired.
Sarah Covington Cobb, we think a lot of the March of Dimes because they've helped my family through a birth defect of our youngest son. So you guys are great.
What is it like? Like, what do you do? How do you meet someone like her? Where does the March of Dimes come into play once you have a preemie?
Well, we do a lot of outreach with parents in the NICU, like Julia. So, so when they're there, we are right there with information, support, activities, ways to meet other parents that have been through this to help them with that. I have my colleagues that work in the NICU are amazing, amazing, and caring for the caregivers. Like I was telling her, she kept telling me how Lawson was doing. I was like, he's gonna be fine. How are you, right? Because those things are so much harder on the parents, as you know, than the patients themselves.
Are you kidding me? This smile, oh my gosh.
You sure that's not gas? That's a smile.
No, that is a straight up smile.
Say, I'm
They
so
kind
happy.
of look the same.
He knows he's a little miracle baby.
He is beautiful.
He is.
Let's talk about, like, now that he's here, he's already had some surgeries. Look, I can't stop. Look at the smile. It's everything. What is Lawson's life like now? Like, what do we have to do? And
We do therapies weekly, physical therapy, speech therapy. He still has what's called ROP, premature eye disease, so we follow up with routine eye exams. And we have a GI doctor and, many of the follow-ups from surgery as well. And so right now, he's off oxygen, as you can tell, which is phenomenal. His lungs look amazing. He is on what's called a G-tube, just additional feeding, but he is orally feeding as well. So that's just for added nutrition. But
he is a rock star. He is just...
He is a rock star.
What's the percentage, Sarah, of birth defects or special needs that come along with being a premature baby? They're kind of linked together, aren't they?
Sure, yeah, they are. So babies that are born early are at higher risk for problems, both when they're born and later on in their life, which is why we try and keep babies in mama as long as possible. So we're trying to prevent those things from happening. Luckily, we've done so much research over the past generations that when babies are born premature, they have a much better survival rate and they do really well. And you can hear Julia's really taken advantage of a lot of the really good research and the really good programs that we have for early intervention to make sure that their diagnosis and their prognosis is much better than it would have been in generations past.
How does South Carolina stack up in premature births?
Not good.
Not good.
More
Not
than we should
good.
have.
Is it because are we not doing like the prenatals? I mean, what are we doing?
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
So our premature birth report card came out just today, for Prematurity Awareness Month. And South Carolina, 11.3% of our babies are born premature. So 1 out of 9. And according to where we want to be, that gives us a D- grade. So we're not doing so great. So, you know, to answer your question, there's a lot that we can do to improve. We are funding research. We have 6 prematurity research centers around the country that are trying to figure out, like, what happens? Why did that happen to Julia? Was it a chain of reaction in her muscles, or a hormone package? Like, what is going on biologically that makes this happen? And so we're trying to do that research so that we have the answers to this, and we can figure out where along that path we can intervene to make it stop more effectively. The other thing is, you know, prematurity is just one of those things that kind of like is a barometer for everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And we find that babies that are born premature are, you know, usually have higher what we call social determinants of health, right? So it's associated with education and poverty and insurance and housing and all sorts of stuff that's going on in people's lives can put them at higher risk for premature birth. And that's why it's a harder thing for us to tackle, right? There's a lot that goes in to a person's health and a baby's health and a mama's health.
And mothers don't need to blame themselves at all.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's one of the things that we want to make clear is it's not anything that mamas do or anything. These are things that happen, and we need to figure out what's going on and how we can support moms and babies and families to.
We all do an amazing job.
Thank you.
And they need your help, guys. So we want y'all to help because we all want to fight with the babies, all right? So marchofdimes.org. Go there and you can learn more about them. You can see how you can give, you can get involved, and they do all kind of programs. Help them out because, I mean, when you see little Lawson, like, you know what I mean? There's a lot more like him. Let's keep helping them.
It brings it all home,
I'm going to use a female word and not a man word.
Okay.
He is precious.
He is. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Our little miracle.
Thank you for sharing him with us today. Best expressions ever. All right, it's a tale as old as time, and lucky for you, you don't have to go very far to see it. The Beauty and the Beast, they're in the studio next.